This is one of those meals that just feels like home. Crispy chicken tenders and delicious, creamy, rich potatoes au gratin. Welcome to Chefing with Shane. Let's make something delicious. We're gonna start off with the potatoes au gratin. Now for all the food purists in my YouTube comments, I don't know if that's even the proper way to pronounce this. And honestly, there's so many ways to make this. So this recipe is nothing more than my version of potatoes au gratin. And I've been making it and it's delicious, and feel free to change it in any way. And we're starting off with the potatoes first because the potatoes take substantially longer than the actual chicken to cook. Now, the potatoes are gonna bake in the oven for about an hour and a half. So this is definitely something that if you don't wanna start cooking early, you can also prep in advance and then throw it in and just have to worry about the chicken. So I got 5 Yukon Gold potatoes. I'm just slicing them on a mandolin. You can use a knife. Mandolins make it so much more simple and uniform. You want these to be a consistent size so they cook easier and you just don't end up with a bunch of raw potatoes. You want them to be done at the same time. Anyways, I'm gonna finish slicing these up on the mandolin. We're doing 5 medium-sized Yukon Gold potatoes. You can use russets. Feel free to use any type of potato you want, but I'll get to you guys after I'm done cutting these up. Next, we're gonna get out our 2-quart Pyrex baking dish. You use casserole dish, ceramic, glass, whatever works. And we're just gonna start layering these potatoes. You're just gonna layer about half of the potatoes, the bottom of the casserole dish. And like I said, cutting the potatoes up thinly allows them to cook and ensures that they're all gonna cook at the same time. And if you end up using a knife, it's okay. Just try to make sure that you get your pieces all similar sizes, because you don't, if different thicknesses cook different rates. Once you have them about layered halfway, or half the way through your dish, halfway through your potatoes, we're gonna salt those pretty aggressively. Also, black pepper. And then we're just gonna layer the rest of them on there. And then we're gonna start making our cheese sauce. So I will see you guys when I'm done layering the rest of these. We're just gonna layer up the rest of them, and then we're just gonna salt and pepper them like we did this layer. It's pretty simple. Okay, right before we kinda finish these, I'm going to chop up, just gonna thinly slice some of this onion, and we're just gonna throw these thin slices right on top. When you're done with that, it should look something like this. Make sure they're all pretty thinly sliced. Mine was kind of just leftover onions, so it was already kind of chopped up, but looks good to me. Let's start making this sauce. Now we're gonna start off by making a basic roux. I'm gonna get this saucepan up to medium heat. Throw in 3 tablespoons of butter. I'm gonna let that melt down. Now that this butter is melted up, we're gonna add in 3 tablespoons of flour and a ½ teaspoon of salt. We're just gonna constantly whisk that. Just making a basic roux here, guys. Just wanna get that floury texture out of there. Just gonna whisk this for about a minute. Now we're gonna add in our milk. We have 2 cups of milk here. We're gonna add it in about 1/4 cup at a time. Incorporate it. It's gonna start to thicken up. We'll add more. And then we're just gonna add the last of it in there. And we're gonna whisk it for about 4 to 5 minutes until it starts to thicken up, and then we're gonna add in our cheese. We've been stirring for about 4 to 5 minutes here. You can see it's thickening up. You'll feel it on the whisk. It's much heavier. So now I have about 1.5 cups of shredded cheddar cheese. A lot of people use white cheddar. I'm just using simple mild cheddar. We're just gonna whisk that in, and it should melt up very quickly. Just gonna whisk that together for about a minute or two. And it's getting real thick now, guys. And I have the oven preheated to 400 degrees because we're about ready to throw these potatoes in the oven. Look at that, guys. Just absolutely perfect cheesy consistency. That's done and ready to go. Okay, next step, very simple. We're just pouring this cheese mixture that we just made right on top of those potatoes. And it'll flow in there. Some people layer this to where they'll put half the potatoes and then do the cheese. But the recipe that I use just calls for me to put it on top. I'm sure it does not affect the taste either way you do it. Plenty of ways to make a lot of different recipes. We're gonna make sure all these potatoes are covered up. Looks absolutely delicious, smells amazing. And now we're gonna cover this up with foil and throw it in the oven. It's ready for the oven. Okay, we're gonna pop this in the oven, middle rack, 400 degrees for about 1.5 hours. Now we're gonna start off with these chicken tenders. Now, tenders have this thing called the tendon, which is why they're tender. And basically, to get this out, you're gonna grip in one hand with a paper towel and just put your fork in between and just pull, and it'll come right out. And we're using boneless chicken tenders today. Always a hit, always a classic. They cook up great. We're gonna air fry them, season them up, but I'm gonna get these tendons out and then we'll start working on them. Okay, now that I got my tenders nice and detendoned, I'm going to put it in a nice big mixing bowl, and we're gonna put some seasoning on there. I'm using a simple mixture of 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, and 1 teaspoon of Italian seasoning. Also some salt and pepper in there. And then I'm just gonna toss those around in there, make sure they get coated up. And then we're just gonna cover these up with some shrink wrap and let them sit for 10 minutes at least, but I'm just gonna let them sit until these potatoes have about 20 minutes left. All right, now we're gonna crack 2 eggs into a bowl. And we're just gonna beat those together. This will be to dredge our chicken with before we bread it. All right, we'll put that aside and work on the breadcrumbs. For the breadcrumb mixture, it's simple. We're just doing 1 cup of grated Parmesan cheese and 1 cup of seasoned Italian breadcrumbs. We'll just mix that together. Spoon would probably be better, but looks good. We're also gonna, at this point, preheat our air fryer at 400 degrees. At this point, we're gonna take our chicken. It's been in the fridge for about half an hour. You let that seasoning soak in. You can just smell it. And we're gonna dredge that in the egg mixture. Shake off the excess, throw it in the seasoning. And key tip is always have 1 hand for dry and 1 hand for egg. Make sure it gets nice and coated. And we're just gonna coat all of these, set them onto a plate, and then be ready to go in the air fryer. Okay, successfully made a big mess, but they look beautiful. Let's throw them in the air fryer. Okay, so we're gonna air fry these, and I just gotta put them in the basket. So we're gonna grab some tongs, and we might have to batch these, to be honest with you guys, because you don't wanna have them on top of each other, because then they just won't cook right. They won't get as crispy. So let's see here. I got 6, and we'll just do 3 at a time. Throw them in there. I've had it preheating for 5 minutes. Have it cook up for, we're gonna let that cook on 400 for 11 minutes. Anywhere from 10 to 12 should be good, but remember, always check your internal temperature. Make sure it's 165. Oven's got about 10 seconds left. Take that off. And man, I really wish you guys could smell this kitchen right now. It smells amazing. And you can just hear these potatoes in here sizzling. Let's take a look. Okay, who's ready for the grand reveal? Be careful taking off the foil. You don't want to get burned by the steam. It's been in there for a long time. Oh my gosh. Look at that. Completely bubbling. Sides look great. Golden brown. We're just gonna garnish that. Some fresh parsley. Looks beautiful to me, guys. Just gonna let that cool down a little bit, obviously, because it will burn the heck out of your mouth. And the chicken's got a couple minutes left. We're almost done. She's beeping. Take a look. Wow. I really wish you guys could smell these right now. They smell amazing. Let's get these other 3 in there, and let's enjoy these. Beeping again. This batch is done as well. Looking beautiful, smelling amazing. All right, time to eat. It's done. I'm excited to eat. Looks delicious. Potatoes are still steaming, guys. Like I said, this kitchen smells amazing. Let's try it out. Wow. You can really taste that Parmesan in that chicken. Came out great. Perfectly cooked, not too dry. Next to potatoes. I'll blow these off a little bit before they burn my mouth. Trying out the potatoes. Wow. Simple, delicious, cheesy flavor. I mean, it's everything you want in a good cheesy potato. Subtle, just cooked perfectly. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys try this out for yourself. Don't forget, like, subscribe, check out some of my other videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one.